Hi, this is Diana and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to make paella. Okay, before we get started with the paella, I would like to tell you what type of pan is the best pan to use for cooking paella. Now you can use a fry pan or a pot, but really the best way to make an authentic and truly flavorful paella is with a paella pan. Now, there are many different types of paella pans. There is the carbon polished steel, which is like this, and this one is for 2 people. It's 10 inches from here to here, but on the back it's always 2 inches smaller, so it'd be 8 inches on this one. This one has the dimples. Now, some people think that with the dimples, it helps cook the rice better. That's a matter of opinion. Sometimes it does, and it just depends on how you like your rice. But a paella pan is always 2 inches deep. Now, with a carbon polished steel pan, you must, when you first receive one, you must boil water in it and boil the water for about 15-20 minutes. Drain it, wash it, and oil it. And then you must season, that's called seasoning, and you must oil it every time you use the pan, okay? Then there's the enamel pan. That's one like this. Now this is a 15-inch pan, and it measures 15 inches across here, and like I told you, it is always only 2 inches deep, and it's a lot of the Spaniards now like using this pan because it's easy to maintain. Then you have your better pan, or something better is your stainless steel pan. This one has gold-plated handles, and it also has the dimples, as you can see. And it is a very lovely pan, and it will last you forever. Now, this one here, little heavier pan, it is for every type of stove that anyone could have. If you have an infrared stove, it's great for. If you have gas, electric, induction, it's for every type of stove that you can possibly use it for. And it also is stainless steel, and it's a very lovely pan too. So those are all the paella pans. Okay, today I'm using the 15-inch enamel pan for our paella that we're going to cook on the show today. But you want to know the reason why I have so many pans is because that is where I make my living. And if you want to buy a paella pan, you can go to the link in the sub bar below, and it will take you right there. So now that that's over, let's get started here. Okay, let's go over the ingredients. Today I am using a 4-whole chicken breast without the skin, and I cut it up into bite-sized pieces. You can use any type of chicken you like, bone in or bone out, okay? And then I sprinkle it with pimentone. Now, pimentone comes either in a dulce or the picante. Dulce is the sweet pimentone, picante is a little bit more spicy. And you can use, if you like a little bit more spicy, use the spicy. If you like the sweeter, use the sweeter. You can also get those in the sub bar below to the link. Now I'm using 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm using 6 tomatoes cut up. I'm using a chorizo, Spanish chorizo, or you can use Portuguese linguiça. I'm using 1 onion chopped, 2 cups of rice for a 15-inch pan. I'm using about 3 or 4 garlics. I'm using 1 red bell pepper, and a can of peas. And then the most prominent ingredient is our saffron. And you can get this you can buy this in the filaments like this is, or you can buy it ground, and you can also get that in the sub bar below with the link. Okay, so these are all the ingredients that we need to get started to make paella. Okay, here we are, and you're gonna put enough oil in your pan to cover the bottom of the pan. You don't want it overkill on the oil, just enough to kind of have the whole bottom covered. And now we're gonna turn it up to high, and we're gonna let this get hot. Okay, and we'll be right back. Our oil is hot enough now, so we can start adding our chicken here. Okay, and we're going to stir this around. And we're going to let this cook until it browns on both sides. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting to turn the chicken over because it's browning on one side. So we want to get all that chicken brown. Okay, now you can see our chicken is browning, and look at the beautiful color that the pimentone gives the chicken. Now we're going to add the chorizo. Because remember, you don't want to cook your chicken all the way through, because it's going to cook more as we go along with and you're cooking everything else. So it doesn't have to be all the way cooked at this point. So we're adding the chorizo, and we're going to let that cook a little bit. So good. Okay, your chorizo you're only going to cook for about, before we add anything else, about a minute or two. You know, just enough to get it started, right? And get some flavors out of it. Now we're going to add our onion. Okay, we got that mixed in there. And now we're going to add our red peppers. So we want to stir all that in with this. Look how beautiful it starts looking. Wonderful. So we're going to let this cook. Now we're going to add our garlic, okay? So we're going to let this saute for a little bit, and we'll be right back to show you what's next. Okay, I've let this cook about 5 minutes, but what you want to do is just watch your onions and your peppers, and you don't want to overcook them, but you want them tender, okay? So now I'm going to add my tomatoes in here. And this is where my son and I disagree on paella. I use nothing but fresh, and so my tomatoes are fresh tomatoes. He likes to use the canned tomato or tomato sauce. Let him make one for you one day, and we'll see. But I know Bobby Flay would use the fresh tomatoes. So we're going to add our fresh tomatoes in here. And whenever you're making the paella, you want to always remember to get your ingredients prepared, because once you start, it doesn't really take that much time. It's getting everything cut up, everything prepared first, and so that you can go boom, 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 and it's all done. Okay, Richard, I want you to zoom in on this, because I want them to see how this looks at the time that we're going to add the rice and how to add the rice. So come on, zoom in a little bit on this, okay, Rich? Now you can see our tomatoes are all nice and cooked here, see? And we're going to add our rice. So what you do is you come in here and you kind of sprinkle it in the center here. Okay, and then we start blending it all around. So we make it even, all around. And we let that cook in that juices for a little bit before we add anything else. Get it all blended in there. Now we're going to add our liquid. And you're just going to pour it in. Okay, that's our chicken broth. This is our wine. And now we're going to add our saffron. And you're going to just take, I love saffron. So you're going to just take your saffron and smush it and let it soak into that rice. And just take a few pinches of it and break it up. And now we're going to stir this a little bit so that that saffron gets stirred into the rice. Okay. Saffron is considered the gold of spices. It's one of your most expensive spices. So, but with paella, you don't want to be afraid not to use enough. You always want to be able to use, you always want to use enough so that your rice, you want your rice to turn a beautiful yellow. That's what paella is about. Okay. Now you see this is on high. So we're gonna turn it down. After I get this saffron blended in here, we're going to turn it down to about a medium low. And this is going to cook probably for about 20 minutes on low. And I forgot to tell you something. I forgot to tell you what type of rice to use. I use a cow rose rice. It's a short grain rice. And the reason why I like to use a short grain rice is because the short grain rice will absorb the flavors from everything. Okay? A long grain rice does not. But if you can't find a short grain, of course, use whatever you can find. And another thing is, I want to tell you, today I'm cooking it in the kitchen on top of the stove. That is one way you can make a paella. Another way, I'll be showing you other ways to how to make a paella and where to make it. You can make it on a barbecue, which gives you a nice flat surface, or on a paella burner. But we'll be showing you those in other videos with other types of paellas. Okay, as your rice is cooking, every once in a while you don't want to stir it. Once you put that rice in and you've stirred it all around, you don't want to stir it anymore. You just want to kind of check it every so. You get a small spoon and check the rice. See if it's coming along, how tender it's going to get. Remember with paella, you don't put a lid on it because you don't want your rice to be steamed. You want it to get flaky and light. So, but you might have to also add a little bit more water, just depending on how well your rice is done. So you always want to keep a little extra water just in case you need to add some more. As you can see, most of the liquid is almost absorbed, and see how beautiful color the rice is, yellow the rice is starting to get, and that's from your saffron, and that's a beautiful beautiful color right now. So we want to add our peas now to get them warmed before it's all completely done. So we're going to add the peas on the top, and we just kind of sprinkle them in here like this. Then we'll take our spoon and we'll just kind of spread them around so that they can get warmed up. And look at how beautiful. Ooh. Can't wait to try this. Okay, so we have about another 5 minutes or so. Okay guys, as you can see, most of the water's gone. There's a little bit left, but that's okay. We're gonna turn this off and off the stove, and we're gonna shut the heat off. And now we're just gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes while we set our table. Okay guys, we've let our paella sit for a while, and I think it's ready for us to dish some up. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, as you can see, we dished some of this up, and I want you to look at this rice, how beautiful the color is, how flaky the rice is. It's just, it looks gorgeous. And I want you to get this recipe down. Try this recipe, and it's an inexpensive dish to make, but look how beautiful it comes out. And it's so easy, and it's one dish. I mean, what more can you want when you invite your guest over and having a beautiful meal like this? So get this one down, and then I'll be coming back and showing you a little bit different recipes, some with some seafood and some on the barbecue. So get this one down, and we'll try out some other ones later on, okay? But let's taste this and see how it is. I want some of that rice. Oh. The flavor of the chicken and the saffron, it's delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time in my kitchen, and I hope you will try this paella recipe. Now remember to give us a thumbs up, comment us, and subscribe, and the recipe will be in the sub bar below. Bye now.
Hi guys, as always, I put 3 videos up top. Give it a click, it'll take you to that video. And then there's a subscribe button, the Make My Mommy Smile button. Please give it a click, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.